The secure briefing room hums with the weight of encrypted silent screens, flickering with live feeds from a classified operation unfolding across oceans. I, Abigail Thornton, sit at the heart of it, my headset a lifeline. To 5 senior officers, my ID tag gleaming on the desk, a badge of my hard-won rank at 39. I am Major General, a title forged through decades of discipline. Yet the door behind me shatters splinters, raining like broken promises. My stepfather, Harold Grayson, stands in the wreckage, his retired captain's badge a shadow of authority, his voice a thunderclap. "You're done deceiving, Abigail," hands behind your back. His handcuffs glint, his face flushed with a conviction that cuts deeper than fear. He believes I'm a fraud, a girl playing soldier, not the woman commanding this operation. My heart beats like a war drum, steady, unyielding as I calculate 6 minutes until Protocol Delta brings black SUVs screaming into the cul-de-sac. He thinks he's unmasking a lie. But the river of truth flows through me, a flame kindled by years of his doubt, ready to burn his illusions to ash. Harold entered my life when I was 12 after my father, Colonel James Thornton, perished in a training crash off the Carolina coast. The memory of my mother, Eleanor, collapsing under the weight of that news still haunts me. Her knees hitting the floor, her light dimming for years. It was just us. Her quiet strength as a trauma nurse in Boise, holding us together. She attended every science fair, every debate. Her tired eyes bright with pride. Then Harold arrived, a police captain with a hero's stance, meeting Eleanor at a hospital fundraiser. Their marriage a year later seemed a beacon of stability. But beneath his charm, I felt the undercurrent. Harold craved control, his praise for obedience, a leash. My questions met with sharp glances when I spoke of joining the army, following my father's path. He laughed. "Soldiers follow orders. Abigail, you'd rewrite the rulebook." His words were a challenge. I accepted, pouring myself into academics. JROTC at 15. My ambition a fire he couldn't douse yet. His smile at my achievements was always edged a warning that I was stepping beyond the space he'd carved for me. West Point was my proving ground, a crucible where I shed doubt and forged resolve. Graduating in the top 10%, I became a second lieutenant in logistics. By my late 20s, I was coordinating global supply chains. By my early 30s, briefing generals on covert operations. My career a silent ascent, moving from logistics to counterintelligence, where my mind became my sharpest weapon. But I kept it from Harold. His questions grew barbed. Still shuffling papers. "Abigail, or do they promote anyone who types fast?" His jests masked resentment when I earned my colonel's rank. Eleanor hosted a dinner. Harold arrived late, his toast dripping with condescension. To Abigail, "Climbing ranks faster than anyone must be some diversity quota." The room laughed, but I left early, sealing my professional life behind a wall of secrecy. My recruitment to a classified joint task force demanded silence. But with Harold, it was survival. His need to dominate couldn't bear my rise, and I learned to lie. Just training, I'd say, when I was briefing senators undercover, protecting my truth from his doubt. 6 weeks ago, a burst pipe flooded my San Diego condo, forcing me to relocate my secure operations. Eleanor offered their guest room in a Sacramento officers' housing community. "Harold's home ascended, it's manageable," she said. But I knew better. His presence was a storm cloud day one. He knocked during a secure call, asking about coffee. The dog leash, the vent. His interruptions, a test of my focus. By week 2. He was pacing outside my door. His questions sharp. "Logistics needs all this secrecy." I tightened my security, biometric locks, encrypted files, but his surveillance grew, notes on my calls. My contacts scribbled in his notepad. He wasn't curious. He was hunting, convinced I was a fraud. The night he took my phone, scrolling through deleted messages, calling it evidence tampering. I knew he was building a case. My silence wasn't fear, but strategy, as I waited for the moment to reveal the truth. A river ready to break free. The Sacramento air is thick with the scent of dry grass and tension. My temporary command post, in Eleanor's guest room, humming with the weight of secrets. I, Abigail Thornton, sit before my screens, their encrypted glow a shield against the storm, brewing outside my door. Harold's shadow lingers, his retired captain's badge, a fading echo of authority. Yet his eyes follow me sharp as a hawk's, convinced I'm a fraud. Weaving lies in this secure space, his knocks. His questions about coffee leashes, vents are no longer idle. They are probes, testing the edges of my silence. My heart beats like a drum, steady, unyielding as I tighten my defenses, biometric locks, encrypted channels, each a stone in the river of truth I guard. But Harold's suspicion is a gathering storm, and I feel its gusts, his notes on my calls, his scrutiny of my phone, building a case to cage me tonight. I stand ready, a flame kindled by years of his doubt prepared to turn his trap against him. The first week in their home is a dance of caution. Eleanor moves softly, her nurse's hands offering soup-folded towels. Respect for the red light on my door, signaling a live briefing. But Harold is a shadow that won't fade. Day 2. He interrupts a call with 3 knocks. His voice casual. Need anything? Abigail. The vents rattling, I smile, my voice a clear stream. I'm fine, just working. But his eyes linger, searching for cracks by day. 5. I catch him pacing outside my room, his shadow flickering under the door as I brief my team on exfiltration paths. His questions sharpen, logistics. Needs all this tech, he asks over dinner. His tone light but barbed, Eleanor looks down her silence, a familiar weight. I answer. It's my job, Harold. But my words are a shield, not an offering that night. My laptop's lid is ajar. Its security log showing movement. My pulse quickens, a deer sensing a predator. I change, passcodes, add biometric locks, but the storm grows. Harold's notepad by the kitchen phone holds scribbled clues. Call times, names like Franklin Hayes, Colonel Jarrick misspelled. But close he's hunting, and I'm his prey. The second week, his surveillance becomes a blade, no longer subtle. I find him with my phone scrolling through deleted messages, his face hard. This is evidence tampering, Abigail, he says. I take it back, my voice steady as stone. That's a federal offense, Harold. You're out of your depth. His eyes flash. I know fraud when I see it. You're no soldier. You're playing a game. The words cut. Not because they wound, but because they reveal his truth. He cannot see me as more than the girl he tried to tame. I don't shout, I don't flinch. I say, this isn't your jurisdiction. But his jaw tightens, a man clinging to control that night. I overhear him in the garage, his voice low on the phone. She's running something big, command center in there. No one verifies her rank. My heart drums louder. He's not just doubting, he's rallying, convincing others. I'm a lie. A deputy's name, Samuel Carter, surfaces in his talk of a military fraud case. The storm is no longer distant. It's here, and I must face it. I call Marcus Reed, my ally in the task force. His voice a steady breeze over the secure line. Abigail, he's crossing lines. We need to monitor him. I nod, though he can't see. He's using old police access, digging into my contacts. I need you to trace his queries. Marcus agrees. We'll audit his system access. But be careful. He's not just suspicious. He's obsessed, I feel. The weight Harold's need to dominate is a fire of its own, burning against my rise. I text Eleanor. No interruptions tomorrow, live up. She replies with a thumbs up, but the silence outside my room feels heavy, intentional. Harold hasn't left for his morning walk. The front door hasn't creaked. I prepare for the briefing, my equipment stable. My mind sharp, but the air shifts a quiet before the storm. At Aura 800, the secure channel connects General Franklin, Colonel Hayes. 2 directors. Their faces sharp on the screen. We dive into live feeds, fallback paths, weather threats. 22 minutes in, a metallic click. The door handle turns slowly. My voice is calm. Secure, call in. Progress, do not enter, but the storm breaks. The door splinters. Harold stands there, cuffs in hand. You're done. Abigail, his voice a thunderclap. My heart holds steady. The flame within a star ready to burn through his darkness. I unmute my voice, clear as a mountain spring, General Franklin protocol. Delta confirm, he nods. Confirmed security response, en route. The screen cuts. Black. Harold steps closer. You think your fake generals scare me? I've seen scams like this stolen valor. His cuffs glint, but I stand. Step out, Harold. Now he grabs my wrist. You're impersonating an officer, felony fraud. The first cuff clicks. Eleanor appears, gasping. Harold. Stop. But he snaps. Protecting us, she's a lie. The second cuff locks my mother's eyes widen, but I don't resist. I know the river's flow engines roar outside. 5 black SUVs skid into the cul-de-sac doors. Slam tactical boots hit the ground. Harold freezes, his storm unraveling. A voice booms. United States military open the door. Eleanor bolts to comply. Harold stammers. This is a trick, but the flame within me burns bright. The river of truth surges, ready to sweep away his illusions as soldiers pour in. I am no longer his shadow, but a star rising, unyielding in the heart of the storm. The night air wraps around me like a heavy cloak as I leave Eleanor's house, the echo of Harold's accusations still ringing. A storm stirred by his refusal to see me, I, Abigail Thornton, walk with purpose, my heart a steady drum. Its rhythm guiding me through the wreckage of his disbelief, the shattered door, the handcuffs, the SUVs that roared in under Protocol Delta. They were not the end, but a spark. The river of truth flows swift now, carving through the lies Harold wove his claim that I'm a fraud. A girl playing at power, but my rank, my mission, my life stand as stone against his doubt. Yet the current pulls deeper toward questions unanswered. Eleanor's silence, her complicity in his control, the weight of a family that never saw my fire. I carry the flame within a star unyielding, and I will follow this river to its source to unravel the ties that bind me to their shadows. In my temporary quarters, a stark room on a Sacramento base, I sit with my laptop, its glow a beacon in the dark. Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Reed, my trusted ally from the task force, joins me. His voice low. Abigail, the breach was contained, but Harold's access to police systems is a problem. He ran queries on your contacts. My breath catches a hawk, sensing a trap. He's been tracking me. Marcus building a case, he thinks I'm impersonating an officer. Marcus's eyes narrow. He's a civilian now, but his old credentials gave him enough to dig. We're auditing his activity. I nod my fingers, tracing the edge of my ID tag. I need to know how far he went, and if Eleanor knew the thought of her, my mother standing silent as Harold cuffed me, stings like salt on a wound, her quiet strength always bent toward him. Never me. She saw the red lights, the protocols, but never asked. I say, my voice a clear stream. I need to understand why Marcus leans forward. We'll pull his records, phone logs, everything, but Abigail, be ready. This could cut deeper than you think. The flame within me flares, ready for the truth, no matter its weight. The next day, dawn breaks in hues of fire, and Marcus delivers a file, pages heavy with Harold's actions. Sacramento PD logs show he accessed my contacts. Franklin Hayes, Colonel Jarrett running background checks, flagging them as potential aliases. He even queried my clearance status, hitting dead ends at classified firewalls. But worse, a call log shows he spoke to a Deputy Samuel Carter about a military fraud case. My heart sinks a stone in deep water. He wasn't just suspicious, I say, my voice steady. He was orchestrating, convincing others I'm a lie. Marcus nods. He used his old badge like a weapon, but there's more. A text to Eleanor. She's hiding something big. I'm protecting us. Sent the night before, he broke in. The words hit like a gust. Eleanor knew he was watching, yet she let him. I call her, my voice firm. Mom, we need to talk now. Her reply is soft, trembling. Abigail, I'm so sorry. Come to the house, but the river within me surges, wary of her tears. Her history of choosing Harold's authority over my truth. The drive to their home is a journey through memory's fields where I once ran free, now shadowed by betrayal. Their ranch-style house looms, its neat lawn, a facade of order. Eleanor greets me, her eyes red, her hands twisting. Abigail, I didn't know he'd go that far, she says. But her voice is thin, a leaf in the wind. I sit the file in my lap. He texted you. Mom said I was hiding something. You didn't stop him. Her face crumples. I thought he was just worried. He's always been protective, but her words ring hollow. Protective. I say, my voice a blade. He cuffed me in a secure briefing, called me a fraud, and you stood there. She sobs. I didn't understand your work, the secrecy. I thought he was keeping us safe. But her excuse is a cracked branch. I press. You saw the protocols, the clearance, but you chose his story over mine. Why Harold enters his face. Gaunt. Abigail, I was wrong. I thought you were in over your head. His admission is a spark, but it doesn't soothe. You didn't think, Harold, I say. You decided I couldn't be more than your version of me. The room stills, the unseen current of truth pulling us toward a reckoning I cannot avoid. Marcus's warning echoes as I leave. This could cut deeper, and I feel it, the rivers pull toward Eleanor's role. Her silence, not just neglect, but a choice. I return to the base, my mind racing like a hawk. Dig into her phone records. I tell Marcus I need to know what she shared with him. He nods. We're on it, but Abigail, pace yourself. You're carrying a lot. I look out at the horizon, the city's lights. A distant constellation, I've carried heavier. I say, my voice a steady drum. The flame within me burns bright, a star cutting through the fog. Harold's actions were a storm, but Eleanor's silence is a deeper wound. The river of truth flows on, and I will follow it, not to destroy, but to understand, to free myself from the shadows they cast. The path ahead is uncertain, but my fire is unyielding, ready to light the way to a dawn I will forge alone. The Sacramento base is a fortress of quiet strength, its stark walls holding the hum of my resolve. I, Abigail Thornton, sit in my temporary quarters, the echo of Harold's shattered door and the sting of his cuffs still pulsing in my veins. The river of truth flows fierce now, carving through the lies he built to cage me. His accusation of fraud, his refusal to see my rank, my fire. But Eleanor's silence cuts deeper. Her eyes watching as he bound me, her heart choosing his story over mine. The flame within me burns steady, a star unshadowed, yet the current pulls toward her, toward the weight of her choices. Marcus Reed's file lies heavy in my hands, proof of Harold's queries, his calls to deputies, his text to Eleanor claiming to protect them. I seek not vengeance but clarity to unravel the roots of their betrayal and free myself from its thorns. The dawn I forge is near, but the storm's heart still rages. And I must face it, a woman unbroken, ready to claim my own sky. Marcus joins me, his presence a steady rock, his voice low. Abigail, we've pulled Eleanor's phone records. She texted Harold back. Be careful, she's not what you think. Hours before the breach, my heart sinks a stone in deep water. She knew he was coming for me. I say, my voice a clear stream, and she let him. Marcus nods. There's more. A call between them 2 days prior, she asked if he was sure about the plan. The word cuts a blade through my resolve. Eleanor wasn't just silent, she was complicit. I stand, my mind racing like a hawk. I need to confront her alone. Marcus hesitates. She's your mother, but she chose sides. Be ready for what you find. I nod, the flame within me flaring. I've faced worse storms. The drive to their house is a journey through shadows, memories of my father's laughter now dimmed by Eleanor's betrayal. The ranch-style home looms, its neat facade. A lie? I step inside, my heart, a steady drum, ready to pull the final thread of their woven deceit. Eleanor sits in the living room, her hands clasped, her eyes red but guarded. Abigail. I didn't mean for this, she says, her voice trembling like a leaf in the wind. I set the file down, its pages, a map of truth. You texted Harold to be careful. You knew he was coming for me. You spoke of a plan. Her face crumples. I thought he was protecting us. He said, you were in trouble, hiding something dangerous. Her words are brittle. A cracked branch. Dangerous? I say, my voice a blade. I'm a major general leading operations you'll never read about, and you let him call me a fraud. She sobs. I didn't understand your secrecy. The locked doors, I thought he was right. But her tears don't sway me. You saw my clearance, the red lights my life. But you chose his story. I press. What was the plan? She hesitates, her hands twisting. He said he'd prove you weren't who you claimed to keep us safe. I didn't ask how her admission is a spark igniting the room. I lean forward. You let him cuff me in my own command because you couldn't believe I was more than his shadow. Her silence is a wound raw and deep. Harold enters, his face hollow. His hero's stance gone. Abigail, I misjudged. I thought you were caught in something illegal. His voice is a fading breeze, but I hold his gaze. You didn't misjudge, Harold. You refused to see me. You built a case to shrink me, and Eleanor helped. He flinches. I was protecting her, our home, but his words are ash. I turn to Eleanor. You asked him if he was sure you knew he was planning to confront me, and you stood by her tears. Spill, I was scared. Abigail, your world is so big, so hidden, I thought he was keeping us grounded. Her confession is a stone, heavy with years of her choosing his control over my truth. I stand, my voice steady. Your fear cost me, Mom, but I'm done carrying it. Marcus's warning echoes. This could cut deeper, and it does. The river of truth reveals not just Harold's obsession, but Eleanor's failure, a mother who saw my fire but doused it to keep his light burning. I leave the house, the air thick with coming rain, my heart a drum beating through the pain. Marcus meets me at the base, his voice firm. We've locked Harold's police access. He can't dig anymore. But Eleanor's calls show she spoke to Samuel Carter multiple times, discussing your activities. The revelation is august. She was feeding his suspicions, I say, my voice low, helping him build his case. Marcus nods. You need to decide what comes next. Abigail, for her, for you. I look out at the horizon, the city's lights a distant constellation. I need time to see the full pattern. The flame within me burns bright, a star cutting through the fog. Harold's storm has broken, but Eleanor's role is a deeper wound. The river of truth flows on, pulling me toward a reckoning with my mother, with the past, with the girl I was. I am no longer their shadow, but a woman forging a path through the storm. My fire unyielding, ready to light a dawn of my own making. The Sacramento bass hums with quiet purpose, its corridors echoing the steady rhythm of my steps. I stand at the edge of a new dawn. The sting of Harold's cuffs and Eleanor's betrayal, now scars that guide rather than bind. The river of truth has carved its path, exposing Harold's obsession, his shattered shield of authority, and Eleanor's complicity. Her silence a choice to dim my fire for his fading light. Yet the flame within me burns bright, a star unshadowed my heart. A drum beating with clarity, not vengeance, I've unraveled their woven deceit. His illicit queries, her whispered encouragements, the plan to break me, but the final thread is mine to cut. Not to destroy them, but to free myself, to plant my roots in soil untainted by their doubt. The city's lights gleam beyond a constellation of possibilities, and I walk forward, no longer their shadow, but a woman forging a path to a sky of my own making. Weeks have passed since the confrontation, and Marcus Reed delivers the final piece. A report tracing Eleanor's calls, her voice on recordings, hesitant but clear, urging Harold to be sure before his raid. She didn't just stand by. Marcus says, his voice a steady rock. She fed his suspicions, shared your schedules, your habits. My breath catches a hawk, pausing mid-flight. She chose him over me, even knowing my work. I say, my voice a clear stream. Marcus nods. She's agreed to testify, to clear your name fully. But it's your call how to proceed. I sit, the weight of her betrayal a stone, yet the flame within me shifts, not to anger, but to release. I call Eleanor, her voice trembling over the line. Abigail, I've told them everything. I was wrong, so wrong. Her tears are a wind, but I hold steady. You saw my light, Mom, but you let Harold's shadow cover it. I need to know why, she sobs. I was afraid your world was so vast, I clung to what I knew. Her confession is a spark, but it doesn't heal. I'm not your anchor anymore, I say, but I'll let you find your own path. The call ends, a bridge, unbuilt, but a burden lifted. I return to their house one last time, the air heavy with spring rain. Eleanor waits on the porch, her face etched with grief. Abigail, I'm selling the house, moving to a smaller place. I can't stay where this happened. Her words are a leaf falling. I nod. It's a start, Mom. But trust is a long road. She reaches out her hand, trembling. I didn't see you, not really until now. Her eyes hold a new light, fragile but real. You're a general, my daughter, and I failed you. I feel the drum of my heart soften. You didn't fail me. You lost me. But I found myself. I turned to leave the memory of my father's laughter, a distant echo not dimmed, but freed. Harold's fate arrives via a secure message. His credentials revoked, a federal review pending for misuse of authority. No prison at my request. But a record that marks his fall. I feel no triumph. Only quiet, a chapter, closed. The river of truth has swept away their illusions, and I stand on its banks whole. Months later, I stand in a training hangar watching new cadets march, their eyes bright with the raw hope I once carried. A young woman pauses, salutes. General Thornton, ma'am. Her voice steady. I nod. Carry on and feel the weight of my rank, not as a burden, but a beacon. Marcus joins me, grinning. The op you saved is complete. No leaks, thanks to your protocols. I smile, the flame within me, steady. It's what we do. I say my new office overlooks a runway. Planes soaring like hawks inside a single photo rests on my desk. Me and Eleanor taken at a recent base ceremony, her hand on my shoulder, her navy blouse an echo of my high school graduation. She said little that day, only, you became everything he said you couldn't. Her words, a bridge small but steady. I look at it now. The river of truth flowing gently, no longer a torrent. I was never broken, only planted in soil that couldn't hold me now. In this rising dawn, I grow my roots. Deep, my heart, a drum of purpose. The night air greets me as I step outside the stars above a map of my journey. Harold's voice, once a storm, is silent. Now his need to control a shadow that no longer touches me. Eleanor's path is her own, and I wish her light, but mine shines alone, unyielding. I walk to my quarters, a small space with a window, facing west, where a single cactus blooms its flower, a defiance of the desert. I think of the girl. I was the one Harold tried to cage. The one Eleanor overlooked. She is still within me, but stronger, a star that needed no permission to rise. The river of truth has carried me here to a dawn I shape with my own hands, not for approval, but for the mission that burns brighter than any doubt. I am Abigail Thornton, Major General, and my fire lights the way, a sky unshadowed, a path unbroken, a life reclaimed.